Well, we always say retirement is a journey, one that you shouldn't have to navigate solo. So that is why every week here on The Right Path to Retirement, we turn to financial advisor Jimmy Lynn, certified financial planner and the founder of Right Path Wealth Management right here in Las Vegas. It's summer. Baseball's in full swing, Jimmy. I'm actually Atlanta born and raised, so the Braves are my team. Not sure if you've got a team, Jimmy, or if you're a baseball guy.
We got one coming.
Okay.
We got one coming. We inherit all of the Oakland teams.
I'm out of the loop.
Oakland Raiders.
Yeah.
And Oakland A's are coming. 2028, I believe, is when the stadium's done.
All right.
But Oakland A's are going to be.
It's only a year and a half away.
Yeah, so it's coming.
Then we're all going to become A's people. Well, Major League Baseball's All-Star game is actually the midpoint of the season. It was recently played in Philadelphia. Hopefully we'll have some Las Vegas A's on that team here in a couple years. But it marks the midpoint of the MLB season, and this little break really gives the teams a chance to take a step back and look at their standings and decide kind of what adjustments need to be made for the second half of the season moving forward. And it's when the manager really takes stock of what's working for his team and what isn't. So now we're, through July. We're a little over halfway through the year, Jimmy, and I'm wondering if now is a good time for a financial checkup, kind of like these baseball teams are checking in. Is this a good time to check in on our finances? And if somebody hasn't, taken a look at their financial plan maybe since January, what problems, Jimmy, could be developing that maybe they're not even realizing could be an issue?
We believe that it is a great time to do that midpoint of the season check-in. In fact, it's built into our process with our clients where we will meet typically at least twice a year, oftentimes more, in order to kind of see, we start the year off with a plan, just like all baseball teams. You start the season with a plan, but then life happens, people get injured. So this midseason point for us with our clients is we talked about strategies we wanted for the upcoming year, investment strategies, tax strategies. At that mid-year point, we want to see, what's changed? Do we have to pivot? And there's a lot of changes that can occur either with somebody's life, maybe they got a new job, they lost a job, they have health concerns. There's a lot of things that can happen personally in your life, or there can be goals that you implement. You decide, hey, I want to get a vacation home, or I want to start taking a couple trips a year and I want to build that into my plan. Whatever the case may be, life changes in your personal life. Life also changes in things you can't control, like taxes, like what's going on in the market. So that mid-year check-in is very important for us. And so for those people that aren't clients of ours, we think that you still want to, in your own personal life, have that mid-year check-in of, reviewing your statements, reviewing things that are going on in your life and life goals. Do you want to retire earlier and things of that nature? And so I think for anybody, you don't want to be reactive. You want to be proactive. So you want to see things that are going on and make small tweaks. Small tweaks, Casey, are much easier to make than having to make major changes in your life. So if you can always kind of make small tweaks, then it's not as dramatic in your personal life. So I think that it's very, very important, no matter whether you're a client of ours or you're just you do it yourself, or make sure that you understand and you have a status of what's going on, because sometimes you can foresee things that can become problems in the future, and then you can pivot early. So I encourage everyone to do that, and it is a big part of our practice that we implement.
Has there been anything that has changed so far this year specifically, Jimmy, that might justify taking another look at a financial strategy? The first half of 2026, did anything specifically happen where it's like, hey, let's revisit, let's sit down, let's have a check-in and have a conversation?
Well, the markets itself have been pretty volatile. We've come off several years of just record-breaking years where everyone's accounts are going up in value and people are feeling good. This first half of the year, it's been a little bit more up and down. We see things going on around our world that, we have the war in Iran that they had settled that. It sounded like the war was over, and now it's not, and of course that affects oil prices, inflation, as well as our portfolios. So that alone is something that when things like that are going on, you don't want your investments to be set it and forget it. Mm-hmm. You want to be on top of it. You want to make sure that your investments are kind of aligned with what's going on around the world as best you can. So I think that's going to be really important to understand. Things like taxes, a lot of people may know that the big beautiful bill that extended our lower tax rates that we have right now. So sometimes you can pivot there. Things like Social Security, there's some additional deductions there that people should be aware of. So we can talk to people about all this stuff because of our profession, obviously, and who we deal with as far as people that are in retirement. We are on top of this information. So that's how we educate our clients. But I would say that, things like taxes and what's going on around the world that affect your investments, those are two key areas that you want to just make sure that your overall financial plan is adjusted or based on what's going on around the world.
Is there a danger in feeling overly confident because maybe your year has gone relatively smoothly so far? You think you're smooth sailing, you're not checking in. Is there a danger in that?
Yeah, it's being complacent. And we all know that, you don't want to just feel like, things have been going well, so they're going to continue to go well. That typically is when things start to not go well.
Yeah.
It doesn't take that much effort to just, build it into your timeline of saying, I want to do my mid-year check-in on my portfolio. And then just go in, see what's going on, see if you need to make any tweaks. Now, that could be a little daunting, Casey, because most people, quite frankly, there's a lot of experienced investors, but most of us out there, we let our employer plan dictate how we're investing. Like all we did was we probably got our job. We filled out a form that said, I want my money to grow a little bit, but I'm a little bit conservative. And whatever you had filled out, 10, 15, 20 years ago, oftentimes we don't change that. So those investment strategies have just been doing what they were doing, and people have not had to take the time to review what's going on. They just diligently saved. But once you're in retirement, now you got to pay attention, because a dramatic drop in your portfolio now that you're not working and you're not putting new money in is going to be a lot more impactful than a drop in the market during your working years. So we were kind of allowed to be complacent during those working years, but you got to understand that we're in a different stage in life. The level of risk that we take is different. So you now have to be proactive. We can no longer be complacent, because literally one drop in the market could dramatically affect the vacations we take, the bills that we can pay, and just the lifestyle that we have in retirement.
Yeah. Have you seen a situation where maybe a small mid-year adjustment really prevented a much bigger problem down the road for one of your clients?
Yeah. So we have clients that, when they've come in, their portfolios were just grow, right? Because they were in their working years. So, it stands to be the reason that you're in that accumulation phase. And once they retired, they came in and we started talking about them. We set up their accounts, but as we were talking it through, we were kind of in that mid-year point. We're like, look, you guys see what's going on in the world. How do you feel about it? When you see all the confrontations going on in the Middle East, you see what's going on with China and the Taiwan conflict. Like, how does that make you feel? And I had a client that just said, we don't like it. We wake up in the morning and we're always checking the news.
Yeah.
And retirement kind of is more stressful for us. Even though they weren't working, they were just like, retirement is more stressful for us because now we know that this is what we're living off of for the rest of our lives.
Yeah, which is exactly where you don't want to be, is more stressed in retirement. It's supposed to be the opposite.
Right. And there are ways to ease that stress. And so those are the strategies that we help people. Because quite frankly, if you are looking to just grow your money as much as possible, Casey, we're probably not the right firm for you. Mm-hmm. We are the firm for those people that have worked hard and saved for retirement, and now they want a plan where they just know that they can take their vacations and not worry about what's going on CNN or Fox News. So with our clients, in this case specifically, we just reallocated their funds, kind of created buckets of money for them to earmark for different strategies. And by doing things like that, and we specifically did this during their mid-year check-in, because they were like, look, Jimmy, we've been, the first half of the year, it's been stressful for us. How can we ensure that something that's going on around the world is not going to impact our retirement? And so those are the type of tweaks that we make during that mid-year check-in that will make the rest of their year, and quite frankly, the rest of their retirement, more stress-free for them. So yeah, those are the stories that I really like because I share that with our clients and they understand kind of the value that we provide for them.
Yeah. Well, we've got this opportunity for people to meet with you for this Right Path retirement report today. We've just got a few spots left. So talk to us again a little bit about this opportunity. What will you go over with people? What can people expect if they give us a call, set up some time to meet with you?
Yeah, when you call our lines, you'll get scheduled for a phone conversation with myself. And so we're going to talk about all the things that we talk about on this show. We'll understand where your starting point is. And like I said, I don't care if you just started saving for retirement and you just got, 15, 20,000 in there. I'll have some advice for you. But if you're on the other end of the spectrum where you may have like 1 or 2 million in your retirement accounts and you just don't know how to allocate this appropriately to live out your retirement, we have strategies for you. So what it is really just starting off understanding where are we today? Where are those blind spots that you may not be aware of, but as an advisor, I see every day? And we'll start talking through some of those concerns. But really the conversation is to start building out that complimentary Right Path retirement report. And with that report, it is going to show you where you're at today as far as your investment risk, your income that you can expect to receive in retirement. And quite frankly, the most important thing that many people ask for is that tax report. Where does my tax burden lie in retirement? Because I don't want to get hit with a ton of taxes during my retirement when my income is limited. But we will analyze all that. We'll show you where you sit and we'll provide you with some direction in that. And then if you want any help with that, we're happy to help, but that is not an obligation. We just want to provide you with this Right Path retirement report so you know where you're at today. And you'll have some good idea of where you need, what tweaks you need to make in order to have a successful retirement.
That is going to do it for us this week. We will be back next week, same time, same place, with more great insight from certified financial planner Jimmy Lynn here on the Right Path to Retirement. Take care.
Insurance products are offered through the insurance business Right Path Wealth Management. Right Path Wealth Management is also an investment advisory practice that offers products and services through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, a registered investment advisor. IPW does not offer insurance products. The insurance products offered by Right Path Wealth Management are not subject to investment advisory requirements. Investing involves risk, including potential loss of principal. Any reference to the protection, safety, or lifetime income generally refer to fixed insurance products, never securities or investments. Insurance guarantees are backed by the financial strength and claims paying ability of the issuing carrier. This radio podcast is intended for informational purposes only. It's not intended to be used as the sole basis for financial decision, nor should it be construed as advice designed to meet the particular needs of an individual situation. Right Path Wealth Management is not permitted to offer, and no statement made during the show shall constitute tax or legal advice. Our firm is not affiliated with or endorsed by the U.S. government or any governmental agency. The information and opinions contained herein provided by third parties have been obtained from sources believed to be reliable, but accuracy and completeness cannot be guaranteed by Right Path Wealth Management.
Market Guard is a firm that provides investment signals as well as portfolio allocation recommendations, wide variety of model portfolios. Market Guard does not offer advice or enter into fiduciary relationships.